What is this? What is it? Yeah. Been waiting on these things for the longest time. I can't wait to open them up and show you guys what's inside. This is gonna be badass. Damn. This is like dream come true type of stuff. My hand almost slipped. That would have been a disaster. Oh yeah, I underestimated the size of this unboxing table, so gonna have to move a couple of these out of the way real quick. We'll do them one at a time until they're all on here. An unboxing like this does not get a brand new steak knife. I appreciate the person that sent me this in. I got like a 5-pack a while ago. It was awesome. But this one deserves the original. With the black tape holding it together, super dangerous. You totally slice your fingers if you try to put too much pressure on it, but it lives and it deserves to open these boxes. So out with that thing, back in with the OG. Hey Brando, I got that foam I ordered, brother. Sick. Yeah, the ultimate unboxing. Been waiting for this foam for like months. High grade. Oh, looks like they tossed something else in with it. Of course, I'm gonna need a drill to take the lid off. Can't just make it simple for me. Ready for this? All I know is the Milwaukee drill like the boss has. Love this thing. It's on order. We have 4 of them. 3. Ready? Two channels. 2 channels? Look at that. I don't even know if I want to take them out of their crates. That's crazy as hell. Now I know you guys saw my video with the $8,600 Christmas gift, and that is right here. And that's where all this stuff started from. See, it's in here ready to go. See, but the thing is that they sent me this as a Christmas gift and it's a prototype. I fell in love with it, so I said, Yeah, I would like 2 for the caddy. And after that, I decided, well, I'm gonna need another one to go with it, a 1500.2. Well, I better do 2 1500.2s because I want 1 on each subwoofer. So that only left me with 4 channels for my highs. No big deal. But after thinking about it a little bit, I needed another 4 channel. So that's how all that happened over there. I also know that everybody's been kind of waiting for me to do the B2 audio 8 channel in the caddy. That was the plan. It never got done. 2 years later, they're just now getting it finalized, and I will be running that amp in the Ford F-250. It's gonna be badass. It's gonna be everything it was supposed to be. It's just taking a little bit longer to get done. So the more engineering in the Cadillac, audio control on the processing, B2 audio on the drivers. It's gonna be badass. The F-250 is gonna get that 8 channel, but that's beside the point. We got this more engineering stuff, and it's gonna be bad as hell. It's all going in the caddy. I'm gonna uncrate a couple of these and bring them over and see how they look in the back. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea where I'm gonna put them. Anything. This is all brand new to me, so hey, it's an open canvas. I guess the 3rd row is going to be going bye-bye pretty soon. Oh well. We'll figure it out. This is gonna look good in here. Sick as hell. Now again, I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. I just threw them in here just to look at them. But man, these things are a thing of beauty. I guess I gotta start thinking about what I'm gonna do next. Let's go open up those manuals. Let's see what the bird sheets look like. Very, very detailed bird sheets it looks like. Oh wow. This is just one of the amps. There's so much to go through here. So this is the 2 channel. This is the 1500.2. 2021 at 4 ohms. Bridged 3726 out of a 1500 watt amp. And that's class A, class AB power. That's crazy talk. Just crazy talk. 2558 certified. Dynamic 3726. That's dynamic RMS. That's not dynamic peak lightning bolt. So even then, we're looking at 1645 at 4 ohms, over 2500 certified at 2 ohms. Super nutty, super nutty. Let's take a look at this. And these are all going to be similar. Of course, everything's tested on the AP. Everything's passed. Everything's passed. We got all this. Look at this thing. It's a lot of info you get. Talk about a bird sheet. This is the most in detail bird sheet I've ever seen in my life. "13 pages. Another 2 channel. 2542 certified. 1650 at 4. 3600. Dynamic, just like the other one. Real close. Serial number 8. Gotta love that. What serial number is this one? 7. Low serials, low serials. That, man. And we got the 4 channels. 4 ohms bridge, 1260. That's per side. So 1260, 1260. 1789 dynamic. So I mean, we're talking about 3,500 watts, over 3,500 watts, just like the other amps, but it's a 4 channel, so it's split into 2s. This one's serial number 9. Another 13-page report. Is this a 26-page report? Is there 13 pages for the front, 13 pages for the rear channels. Channels 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That's, yeah, this is just crazy. Badass. Alright, that was a fun unboxing. One of the most epic unboxings I've gotten to do. Back in the day, it was the Zapco 4KWs, chickens, and then I got to do the T15Ks. Epic. This is on the same level. In my world it is anyway. I wanted to do something cool. I want to call the actual engineer, Tony V. Moore, and ask him a few questions about these amplifiers. They're over $8,000. They're almost $9,000 a piece MSRP. So maybe we'll give him a call on FaceTime, ask him a few things about them, maybe get to open them up, take a look inside, and get a few questions answered. So let's do that right now. Yeah.
What's up?
What's going on, man? Oh, you're in your pod, aren't you?
I'm in the chair.
Yeah. All right, all right. I received the amps. I opened them up. I uncrated them. They're bad as hell. I got them sitting right there behind me. I hope you don't mind. I'm filming a YouTube video right now. I did an unboxing. I was taking a look at them, and I know people are gonna have questions, and I figured I would see if I could just FaceTime you and see if it was okay. Maybe you could answer a few things and some things that I can't answer.
I'll try.
Well, first of all, the birth sheet. I've never seen a birth sheet quite like that before. 13 pages a piece, and that's just the 2 channels. So 26 pages on the 4 channels. That's like mind-boggling. That's pretty awesome. There's a lot more info than I would ever need, but that's good that you offer it. So
yeah, it's just there's a lot of games that can be played with specs. So I just want to be like transparent, and show exactly how all those numbers were arrived at.
all right. So the first question I have is, and like I said, I don't like talking about the word expensive because everybody has their own wallet. But what makes the amp so pricey compared to other amps? And what's actually done to it? I also realize that engineering an amp from the ground up and not using a cookie cutter design, 100% every trace came out of your brain from that pod probably. Did you design it in that pod? Most of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Every single trace was designed by you and done by you. So I know that ain't free. But besides that, what kind of stuff is inside the amp that make it nice and pricey?
Yeah, some of the things, I think the mechanical parts of it are definitely added a lot of cost to it because, it's a 2,500 watt Class AB amp, and those don't exist because there's a lot of heat to deal with and a lot of things that you have to do different. So like the heat sink part of it, I think, is these are CNC, so like the mechanicals are definitely part of it. This is about 12 pounds worth of 6061 right here. I'm only making like 50 of these, so engineering, the CAD, the cutting, and all the materials and labor and time and everything else for sure.
Yep.
So there's that, and then electrically it's kind of the same thing like you mentioned. It's not a cookie cutter design; it's all from scratch. And really, this thing didn't have a target price point, so I just designed it what it needs. As best I could, and then whatever it costs, then that's what it costs. So that's much different than when I was in the corporate world and I was given a target like, hey, you got to make this thing cost $5.99. So that's a whole different design philosophy. So I have some circuits here showed up. I don't want to get too nerdy, but just to show a little bit of an example. This is one of my textbooks here. You can see that circuit there. This is a whole amplifier right here. The most basic that you can make it, with the least amount of parts. So something like this exists in lower end audio all the time, versus this is one of the channels of the 1500 too. So it's just a lot more parts. They both do the same thing, but they do it differently, and there's things that aren't usually advertised that you don't get to see the benefit, I guess. So like power is the thing that's advertised. Maybe both of these make 300 watts, but one of them makes it a lot more gracefully with a different sound characteristic, and that requires a lot more parts to do that. So for those reasons too, it's pretty pricey. It probably has 10 times the amount of parts that it needs.
You're working with Harry on this?
Yeah.
And you were given the green light to make an amp, but make it as badass as you can with the best parts that you can and go. And that's basically what you did.
That's what it was, yeah. And then even when we were done, I went to Japan several times, and we had these tuning sessions, these very strange Japanese tuning sessions that I've never experienced before, with this master named Ida. So we called him Ida-san. And Ida-san was an engineer and golden ear for Luxman. Luxman is the high-end home audio arm of Alpine. Founded in like the 20s, so this guy knows high-end audio, and you know, we go into his little man cave and take our shoes off and sit in there, and he would get his box. He had one of those boxes that has knobs, and it's like a resistance box. It's like a lot of resistors in a box, and you can just turn a knob and select it. And he wired that thing into our amplifier in different places, and we just sit there, and he's magically tuning this and just listening to it for like emotion. So like once all of the engineering and mathematics is done as to what values the resistors need to be in that, after that it went into like this 40-hour emotional tuning session where he just starts turning knobs until like he feels a certain way. And you know, so it has that love in it too. And I have to say, I wasn't a believer in that until we walked out of there. And it definitely does have a different sound because of him, so I'm thankful for that. That was an interesting experience. But those types of things too cost a lot of money to do. So
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Japan thing. You got your people that are really into sound quality there, just like they are here, but are they a little bit different in Japan about their sound quality? Are they hard to please over there? What's it like?
they're really hard to please. Yeah, we've gone through a lot of iterations of this amplifier to get to their standards. And in fact, even last night at 1 a.m. I was talking to Harry because they just installed a couple in a car, and he said, you know, it has hiss, and it ended up being something with the car, but they are just very picky like that, and it's good. It made it a better product. We've revised it so many times because of that stuff with them, but now it's really dialed in, and you know, I plan on making like some other things with it too, maybe some home amps with the same circuitry that's been developed.
Awesome. These amps, one of the things that makes them so superior in sound quality is that they're Class A and Class AB. For the people that don't understand what that means, I have a grasp of it in my mind. It's a little bit harder for me to explain to somebody, so that's why I have you here.
If you want to make power, you got to have voltage and current. And so the way most amplifiers, they just kind of amplify both at the same time. You put the signal in, it gets the voltage part of it and the current get amplified. And in my design, the voltage amplifier is a completely separate piece of it. It's actually a completely separate circuit board inside the amp. So when you get that amp open later, you'll see where the RCA's plug in. There's a card that's sitting perpendicular to the main board. That's the voltage amplifier. So that does all the voltage. If you're going to put in 3 volts and 60 volts coming out of the amp at the end, all that happens on that card. So that part of it is still Class A.
Nice.
So okay. That's the difference. So it has a Class A voltage amplifier. And then because that doesn't, there's just a little bit of heat. You'll see if you have it running and you have the top off, there's heat coming off those cards.
Okay.
But then the high current stuff, where a lot of heat could be made on the main board, is AB. So it ended up giving it the Class A distortion characteristics, but with a lot less heat.
The Class A, you said you had to dial it down at some point during the proto stage because there was too much Class A in it. What does that mean?
The dialing it down part was just heat. You know, people have gotten pretty accustomed to amplifiers running cooler because of the abundance of Class D everywhere, and maybe we've kind of forgotten that amplifiers do make some heat. The amplifier is built to deal with the heat. It's made to be hot. It loves being hot. It can actually get so hot that it would burn you and still be safe for the amplifier, but not for us. So I've actually, you know, had to dial it down so that it doesn't hurt us. But yeah, I had to back it down because people were touching the amplifier after it was idling for a while, and you know, they feel the warmth, and they just didn't love it. And really, it's so clean in AB mode that there wasn't a huge benefit of having it in A. It was just kind of making heat. So
would it be okay if I bust out a screwdriver and crack one of these open?
Yeah, let's do it. I think you need think it's a 2.5 millimeter hex, maybe.
2.5 mil. Okay. Which one do you think we should open?
Probably a 2-channel.
The 2-channel? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and pluck this 1500.2. Yeah, I might mention these are probably going to be the only white ones too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless someone specially orders one like that, but I doubt it.
They'll match my turbos really nice. Everything on the front panel?
Yeah, just take off the 2 blue screws on either end.
Or if I strip one out, I got another amp over there.
I know where you can get more of the other end, those 2. Yep.
Well, he wants you to do these 2 first.
These 2?
Yep.
Oh. Oh, just like the other side, duh. Okay. Come on.
Yeah, so there's one just like that on the other side and then 2 in the back. Alright.
Does that mean this thing's coming apart?
Yeah, so I would just kind of try to go straight up, but the fans are attached to the lid,
Okay.
and they're wired into the board, so
We got a little plug?
yeah, they're going to have to unplug them after you open it. They're on a short leash, so
Okay.
you should be able to just...
You ready for this? Oh! Look at this!
Wow.
Where you at, Anthony? You watching this? This is badass. Now's where I go to the commercial break on the YouTube video.
Yeah, I would like lean it back, and then you can unplug those fans and set that whole piece aside.
Okay.
It should just pull straight up.
Okay. I'll rip it right out of its socket, right off the board.
There it is.
There it is. I'm gonna turn this just like this so I don't have to stop looking at it because I love it. Look at that thing.
Where's the? I want to see the banana guy in the. Where's the banana? Oh, I found him.
Yeah, he's in there.
The banana guy and the dude with the wrench.
Can see the camera.
Yeah, so those cards that are on the end that are perpendicular to the main, those are the Class A.
Right here?
Yeah, that's the Class A voltage amp. So your RCA, your signal goes in there and it gets fully amplified. It's a full standalone Class A amplifier. You could actually plug headphones into that or something. Have a
Look at those
signal
seats.
comes out of there, goes into the main board, and then it just does all the heavy lifting with the big transistors and the big ass power supply that's on there.
Is there anything special about these gold colored caps?
Those are special caps made just for audio. Those are Nichicon, the famous capacitor manufacturer. They have an amazing line of caps, and they all, you can pick one cap of the 100 volts and whatever, and they make 6 different ones for it. And it's like, because it's a Japanese company, so they're super tweaky about this is a special cap for audio. The only thing more special than those gold caps are those little green caps on the voltage amps. Those are as special as it gets.
Those little guys right there?
Yeah, the little green one. So that's the first cap that the audio signal goes through when it gets into the amplifier. When it comes off the RCA, that's the first thing it does.
So what's so special about it besides the color?
I really don't know the physics of how it's made as to what makes it special, but it's intended for high-end audio use only.
Nice.
So I don't know, it's probably things like as the temperature changes, it doesn't, act any different. If it vibrates, it doesn't do anything crazy. Stuff like that.
Alright, so how do I pull this heatsink off?
Heatsink.
I'm just fucking with you, man. I ain't gonna pull the heatsink off. We're gonna dig, man. We're gonna do some surgery, brother. What impedance can this amp be ran at safely? Like, someone gets it, do they want to run 1 ohm? Or do they want to run 2 ohm, 4? What are they?
So since it's Class AB, obviously the harder the load, the more heat it's going to make. But as far as the amplifier is concerned, it's perfectly within its capability of doing 1 ohm per channel. I don't think the protection will kick in until about 7/10 of an ohm per channel, something like that.
What about car voltage in? Like, let's just say I put 15.5 into this thing. Will it be okay? Or when does it cut off?
It's good up to 6. It'll shut off at 16.5, but it's designed to work right up to 16.
What about efficiency? Now, I know that this amp is Class AB, and when people talk about efficiency, they say Class D because I need it to be efficient. I've
Yeah.
been reading and I've been paying a lot of attention to what's been said and going on about these amps. They're really efficient for Class AB, aren't they?
It's just having enough power supply, having enough copper on the circuit boards and stuff like that really helps. At full power, just at clipping, it's almost 70%. Driven hard into clipping, it's over 70%. The place where amplifiers like this are inefficient is at low volume levels. So maybe at 10 watts out, it might only be like 20 or 25.
Well, that's because obviously it's a Class AB amp and it's just burning away all of its juice, even though it doesn't need to.
Yep.
Just like Class A really burns all of its juice when it doesn't need to, just turning the thing on. So
yeah, it's kind of like if a Class D car had a gas pedal and a Class A car only had a brake pedal. It's already floored all the time. You just control the speed with the brake.
Yep. It sounds like a sprint car.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty much. Don't you just turn those things on, drop them into gear, and go? I'm pretty sure that's how sprint cars are, man. I'm gonna have to ask my boy over at Connected.
They get push started.
Pray for
Yep.
for your safety.
That's right. Yep. So, all right, man. Well, I know there's a lot more that could be brought up and a lot more that could be talked about. There's a huge birth sheet with everything anybody would want to know, as nerdy as you could possibly be. So all that info's in there. I just wanted to call and I disguised me asking questions with just wanting to open up the amp. I wanted to know how to do it. So I appreciate it. And this amp is definitely badass. And I appreciate you, man. Thanks for making an awesome product. This is where I end this video.
Hey, I appreciate you, dude, and thanks for all the compliments and all the love.
Yep, no worries, man. The next thing we're going to do is put these in the caddy and enjoy the shit out of them.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. I'm out. Later, brother.
All right, dude.
Yeah. And there you have it from the man himself. I consider myself a lucky person because I know him, but I mean, just to be able to call the engineer, the person that designed your amplifiers, all the way, not just cookie cutter, not just a la carte, but all the way 100%. It's kind of a cool thing. So for now, I'm going to end this video. I got a lot of thinking to do, where I'm going to put these things in the truck, how I'm going to wire them up, how they're going to stay cool, how I'm going to get my subwoofer box in there, what subwoofers I'm going to use, everything. Haven't even started yet. But you know, now that I got my amps, I can get started. Thanks for watching, and I'm out of here. Yeah.